Hey guys, it's time to talk The Walking Dead Season 6. Now, spoilers, I'm going to be talking about up to this point of all the seasons and also the comic book, and you've been warned. Now let's talk. You know what? The set has been revealed that some people have been getting a lot of time, on set, and some people haven't. A lot of people are speculating Michonne might bite the dust next season. I don't think that's the case, but... And then there's also new characters coming in. We spotted Heath. We spotted basically a lot of... you're assuming that a lot of characters would be introduced this next season, like Jesus, Gregory maybe. We still got to see Alexandria. We still got to see the Kingdom. We still... Maybe Negan at the end of the season. Who knows? But there's so much to cover before we get there. There's like Rick taking over. There's zombie hordes. There's... there's still, the wolves that we have to take care of. And that might all be accomplished in the first half of the season 6, but who knows? We don't know how far the creators want to stretch until we get to the big bad villain, Negan. Now, this video, though, consists of, I want to hear you guys' thoughts at the end of this video. I want to hear why, for what reason, and if it's a gut. This is your bet. This is all your money, man. We're betting here, people. I'm a betting man, so we're going to bet here. Predictions. So let's predict, shall we? It's early in the game, but we're going to predict. Now, who will die next season of this season on The Walking Dead? Who will die this season of The Walking Dead? I'm a betting man, and there's two characters in mind that I feel are going to bite the dust next season. It could either go two ways. Just depending on how the creators and writers feel about it and just how generally they want the fans to be shocked. Last season, we didn't have any major character really die at the end of the season, and I actually really enjoyed that. I thought, that's really great. That was a little twist. People were expecting somebody to die, and nobody did. There was moments where we thought somebody would, but nobody really did, except that douchebag who came with the sword. Yep. Anyway, so it's just... Who's gonna die, man? Who's gonna bite the dust? It always, these two choices of mine is really gonna determine of who gets introduced next season. So it's really far fetched on these two choices that I'm gonna give out right now. But hear me out. I just have this gut feeling, and I think a lot of people had this feeling as well last season. But one of the choices that I have, I'm doing two choices. I'm going to narrow it down to one at the end of this video. But the first choice I have is Glenn. Now, Glenn, last season, everybody thought he was going to bite the dust. I even thought maybe he could bite the dust at the end. I did think he was going to bite the dust, but he didn't. I was actually really happy. But that doesn't necessarily mean he's not going to bite the dust this season. Glenn, has come a long way. He's been a great character in the beginning. He kind of faded out just a little bit towards the end of not the last season, but towards the last two seasons. He's just not as big of a player as he used to be. You would think he would be more of a right-hand man for Rick than Daryl. But you know what? Glenn is very... I really like this character. I really like the actor. I don't want to see him go. I want to see the writers come up with something to give Glenn a little bit more juice. And last season, he did get a little bit time to shine. He got some regrets of, people dying in front of him that maybe have been his fault. He still won't kill. He's definitely the opposite of kind of Rick, just like somebody needs to be taken out. So he still has his morals. And, of course, he still has Maggie, that sweet-ass Maggie. But you know what? It feels like the writers are at a corner and saying, you know what? Glenn has done his deed. He's lived for very long. He's a nice guy, but nice guys don't finish really well in The Walking Dead. I think it's time for him to go. I think next season we will see the demise of Glenn. I just have that gut feeling. I think if it goes to a certain storyline in the comic books with Negan being involved with the Bat, Lucille, I don't necessarily think Glenn will have that violent of a death with the Bat. I don't think they'll do that. It's AMC. They could get away with a lot, but not that much. So it'll be a different kind of death for Glenn. Will it be in the hands of Negan? It doesn't necessarily even have to be in the hands of Negan, but it should be, because Negan, that's the driving motivation to Rick wanting to kill Negan or capture him. So Glenn dying next season, that's if they introduce Negan, if they introduce his whole group, and if we get that far. But I am a betting man, and I will say that we do get that far, and it happens at the end of the season. Now, my choice number 2 ties into this. This all relies on the creativity and the creators and basically the shock value. We know that we're going. The Walking Dead TV show has now become like the comics, and we are doing the comic book storyline. Once again, there isn't really too much of surprises along the way. We know where this is headed. We know that eventually Glenn, Rick, and them will meet Negan. But if they want to shock us and if they want to twist our arm, I think a lot of people, we're already in season 6. It's been a lot of seasons. This is their moneymaker. But, however, if they really want to do something amazing and truly epic, Daryl will die next season. I'm putting my money on this will be the best season out of all the Walking Dead. I think they'll find the balance of giving us, each episode something very entertaining, having that Breaking Bad type series. I think Daryl might, if they don't kill off Glenn, and this all depends on the storyline and where they're going with it. If they don't kill off Glenn, they'll switch him out for Daryl because we will never see that coming. Daryl is such a fan favorite. But then again, they might have Daryl live through this whole thing. Who knows? It's just me betting my money on here. So if it's not Glenn, it's going to be Daryl. And Daryl, only for the fact, the shock value, the not seeing that coming. Maybe Norman Reedus, what does he want to stick around for The Walking Dead throughout? How many years does Walking Dead have as a series, a TV show? Still very popular, but does Norman Reedus want to do other things? It all depends also on basically just if they want to get creative, because we could go the Glenn route, but we already know, a lot of us already know where this is going to go. Maybe not. Maybe the Walking Dead fans are not really comic book readers or don't know the insight. Probably that's the case. But like I said, it's mostly due to shock value and to creative writing for Daryl to die. Daryl would just be the most tragic, epic moment, and it would relive that moment that we, the comic book readers, had when Glenn was brutally beaten by the bat, and we couldn't believe it was Glenn of all people. That was the most epic Walking Dead moments one of the moments I've seen in the comic book for a while. It was just like so heart-wrenching. I can't even reread that. I can't go back and see that scene where Glenn's just eyeballs, it's just a mess. It's a mush. It's a mess. It's just very heartbreaking because we care about Glenn. So they could relive that, and they could do that all over again with that emotion, that sadness, that epicness if they do that for Daryl. And that's the only reason I would think they would have Daryl die, is to relive that craziness, that just emotion that you feel. So the two choices I have is Glenn or Daryl. The only reason I say Daryl is because if they want to switch out Glenn with Daryl. But if I had to choose who was going to die next season on The Walking Dead, and I don't think The Walking Dead creators have balls to do it, I'm going to say Glenn. I'm going to say Glenn is going to die at the end of the season, season 6 of The Walking Dead. I think we'll get a little hint or something with a little bit of Negan sprinkled on top. But we do have a lot to cover, and it may very well go all the way on till season 7 until we see Negan and his group. But who knows? I'm very glad. I'm very happy just to have some Walking Dead all over. We got Fear the Walking Dead, and we got The Walking Dead coming up. So it's just me betting my money, and I'll bet my money on Glenn once again. Last season, I think I betted on Glenn. I'm not sure. I think I had somebody else croaking it other than Glenn, but I wasn't even really caring who would die. I think I just wanted to see the whole season as a whole. So I'm going to say Glenn will die next season. I'm putting all my money on that. And whoever wants to bet, let's bet. Let's roll down. Let's play some dice, son. So thank you guys for listening. Please subscribe to my channel. Yeah, nothing's going to appear. I'm just going to say subscribe, like, more Walking Dead videos on the way. Until next time, until we talk The Walking Dead. See you guys later. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. Who will bite the dust next season? Will it be Michonne? It might very well be Michonne, but I just don't think it will be. I think she's too much I don't want to say important character, but I still think she has a lot for the story to add until we see that happening. But that doesn't necessarily she's going to be living as long as the comics. I think she will bite the dust sooner or later. But who knows? Maybe nobody will. Who knows? Let me know. Thank you guys for listening, and Dan the Man is out.